Driven.
Memorable.
Kind.
Eclectic.
Vivacious.
Determined.
Effervescent.
Zestful exuberance.
Perseverance.
Fortitude.
Activists.
Compassionate.
Tenacious.
Involved.
Considerate.
Resilient.
Passionate.
We are the class of 2019.
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 You guys have to sign the whiteboard and do some cool things. Here you go. You all can sign the board.
Yeah, sign the board. It doesn't matter where I sign.
Nah, anywhere. Will's out there talking to Ben, I think.
Have you guys gone?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Skelly's here. Welcome to the senior video.
I came into the group sophomore year when I moved here. I was a loner. I was sitting at the table, enjoying my food with some earbuds in, and then I heard this girl behind me yell, "Hey, new kid!" It was me, and she was like, "You want to come sit with us?" And I was like, "Okay."
My second day of school, it was my second day on the bus, and I was in this really big, poofy marshmallow jacket. It wasn't even cold. It was 59 degrees, and I'm sitting like this because it's so big and stiff. And then I hear the word anime in the back of the bus, and I turn, and my stiff body turns, and I go, "Did I hear anime?" And then Kara goes, "Yes, you did." And I go, "Count me in." And so then we became best friends, and we've been best friends ever since. And then I met Gabby, and then I loved Gabby, and then I made more friends, and I felt very happy. And then I met Lauren 2 years ago, and now she's my mother.
Me and Maddie were supposed to hate each other when she moved here. Everyone thought that we were gonna be like enemies. And then I have like all of my classes with Sadie. Yes, we were supposed to hate each other. That was what was thought to be.
Okay. Oh, I remember how I met Alec. Okay, so he just moved here in second grade. It was like beginning of February, right? And I remember I saw he was wearing a Lego Star Wars shirt, and that was like the shit back then.
It still is.
Yeah, Lego Star Wars was my jam back in the day, and so I was like, okay, this dude must be cool. So I invited him to play tag, and it rolled on from there.
And then we used to live in the same cul-de-sac.
Yeah, but I don't remember that.
I think it was obviously because our last names are the same, Davis, and because we both love Taylor Swift.
We mutually bonded over our strange obsession with Taylor Swift. Like, I've loved her my whole life.
Yeah, she's the best.
And we just like, how many people do you meet in 2019 that are
who are
literally adults
that
are like,
Taylor Swift.
I love Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And I'm not embarrassed to say it.
I'm not either.
The first person that I really met at Anacortes was this human being right here. So I walked into the PE, like the girls' the old Anacortes high school PE room, and I heard Ananda complaining about how she couldn't get a pair of jeans on because she's too thick. And then I overheard that, and I realized, you're thick too. This is a friendship opportunity to be made. So I said, "I feel your pain. I'm thick too. We should be friends." And like the rest is history. Here we are 4 years later.
Well, they met a long time before I did. I moved here in 6th grade, but they were buds already.
Yeah. Cabby and I hadn't really like hung out at all since 2nd grade. And then we met each other and we were best friends again. And
I was
best
the
friends
catalyst.
and also this one.
The glue.
She didn't want to be friends with us.
No,
that made her
a lie.
We had to convince her to be our friend. She's like our pity friend. She's been our pity friend for 6 years.
No, I used to like stand in the middle of the field with a book
And we pester her every single day until she hung out with us.
Mostly just going to Brandon Broom's house and playing Xbox all night.
And just pulling all-nighters.
Yeah.
Doing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like flashlight tag. We used to lick on lollipops and throw it at our friend Duran.
Started off 7th grade year, I was an emo. 8th grade year came around, I was finally like, okay, let's not be a weirdo, Mel. And so I started hanging out with Reese folks, and I had always known Gabby because she was kind of my arch nemesis in basketball, being from Island View. So I started hanging out with them and like going to practices and stuff, and Reese was like, oh, me and Gabby are gonna have a sleepover tonight at Gabby's house. Do you wanna come? And I was like, sure. And so me and Gabby are in the car about to go pick up Reese when we get the fatal text that Reese had thrown up and wasn't coming to the sleepover anymore. So it was just me and Gabby. We'd never hung out really before, but just like being thrown into this like sleepover. Ever since then, it's just been history. Best friends ever since. Yeah.
Well, I'm Nate Dog.
I'm Monte. And I'm Gandalf. And we are
the Three Stooges.
The Three Stooges.
And babe.
Nate Dog, we kind of knew each other while we were just in grade school. And then, and Gandalf and I didn't meet until middle school, so we kind of got together.
Yeah, no, I definitely remember Shark all the way up to high school. No, he's been a crazy little athlete, but freaking, I'll never forget freshman year, man. Coach McLeod always hyping us up. Hype beast.
Yeah.
The beast.
Yeah.
The animal.
AKA the Shark.
AKA the Shark.
AKA the Shark.
Aiden, I met in Digital Media 1 and...
Taekwondo.
We were all like relatively like just like acquaintances, and then we went into Mr. Thompson's advanced digital media class in the fall of 2017. And we were all like relatively good at our own thing, but we weren't like super close. And then we went to this film festival called Guerrilla Film Festival up in Bellingham. We all just decided, hey, let's be a guerrilla team together. So we made, were we Team 2?
Yeah, we carried the mantle of Team 2.
Yeah, we carried the mantle of Team 2 Productions. And basically what ended up happening is we just spent a weekend at Corin Narona's place, and we all got really close as friends.
Alright, in middle school, when Alberto came, I hated him. I did not like him at all. My reason for that is because like me and John have been in the Anacortes School District our whole life, and we never got attention for being like Mexican or anything. And this kid comes in, and then he gets all the attention for being Mexican. Like everyone asks him questions and all that. We've been here all whole life.
Can you speak Spanish for us?
Yeah, so I really hated his guts and how he got popular like almost right away because of that. And I've been struggling for years, so I hated that about him.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space.
I'm super clumsy. So starting back in middle school, I kind of probably broke more things than anyone in 7th and 8th grade, including Miss Graham's block class lamp, the locker in the PE room, a racket freshman year,
Carbon stick.
a carbon stick in 8th grade.
Remember me and Jade, we went sophomore year, we used to go out to lunch every day as soon as I started driving. And there was a day where, I don't know if anyone remembers this, but there was a day where we came back from lunch super late, and Rongren was like walking down the hall, and we're like,
and we had a whole thing of breadsticks with us, like a giant, and it was like sophomore year, so we're like, oh, we were busted.
Yeah, I was like, shoot, busted. And then Rongren like comes around the corner, he goes, hey, what are you guys doing? And we're like, you know, just kind of night. He goes, we got there. We were like, breadstick? He goes, can I get one of those?
So we gave him a breadstick and then just went back to class. So, first semester, I was in engineering with Mr. Furran, and it was first period. And about midway through the semester, there was a period of time where I'd come in every day and I would walk up to my computer. There was no extra seats in the class. I couldn't go to another computer. And I'd walk up to my computer and it would be logged in every single day for like 2 weeks into Drew Monson's like login. And because we were using like really hardcore programs, it would take like 30 minutes for the computer to log out of the program,
log out of the computer and then log into my account and then log into my program that I was working in AutoCAD or whatever. And so I talked to Mr. Fern about this, and I'd written notes and I said, please log out. And it had been like 2 weeks, and it was like a Friday or something, and there was a bad morning in jazz choir, and I walked in and my computer was not logged out. So I am so big confession. I'm so sorry, but I deleted half of Drew Monson's architecture project, half of his house. And I wrote log out loser in countertops because, and I'm so sorry. I really, really hope I did not cause him a lot of grief.
Okay, so to start it off, back in elementary school, to anyone that I physically hurt, I am sorry. I am a completely different person. I confess that I was a bit of a butt.
I hated almost everyone in like freshman and sophomore year because nobody knew my name. I was either Christopher Boland's little sister or Jared Fike's girlfriend. My name is Elizabeth Boland. Thank you very much.
Just to clear the air.
Done.
I was in 6th grade, and we're in like the band hall, like just next to the band before school starts. And of course, I'm the idiot tapping the fire alarm with the back of a pencil. The whole thing ejects out, and the fire alarm goes off 5 minutes before school starts. So to all of you people, I'm sorry that happened. That was me. That was beautiful. I met Mr. Perkins though. Mr. Perkins is probably one of my favorite people now.
Confession. Last year, I sold over 13,000 Supreme stickers to kids around the school, who then proceeded to put the Supreme stickers around the school. And yeah, I'm the one who basically did that.
I wrote a rap song, and I put it over the back-to-back instrumental by Drake. You know the one. And I called it Back to Bama. And the cover art for it was a photo from Homecoming the year prior with a red X over his face. Kaden, I haven't spoken to you since then. I just want to say that was a big, bad move, and I'm sorry, but it's so funny.
We had lunch all through freshman year together.
Yeah, and we always walked around the high school.
Even though we weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
So the second staircase on the side wall, we always sat down at the bottom. And I don't know if anybody noticed, there was always like a piece of the ceiling missing on top. And every time we finished our food, we literally threw the trash up there. If we didn't even finish our food, we'll throw it up there. It got to the point where I think there was a rumor where there was rats in the building because of that. And no one found out it was us.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be.
Starting in middle school, Ralph Cadell.
You know what? Lizzie Boland, I love you.
So in middle school, we had crushes on each other, but we never told each other.
And then it turned out later,
Like,
we
oh
got
wait.
each other. So
Like junior, oh wait, you had a crush on me this entire time? No way.
Ben Cohen. Oh yeah, you really pick him. Oh, I used to like Eamon. And
Okay.
then Dylan for a fat year.
For a fat year. Mine's Eamon Gilden.
Oh
Loved him
my
since
God.
grade 7. Like genuinely like thought we were meant to be, but then I was like, no. He's too cool for me.
Javon was my first 5th grade boyfriend, and I still love him.
Emmett Moore. I have a big crush on him.
No more?
And John Harrison is like the cutest person out there. He's so adorable, and I'm just like in love with John. Seville's prom date, Ben.
Disclaimer, I have a boyfriend now, but for a long time, I was super obsessed with Emmett Moore. So that's cool. One time in 8th grade, me and him were like dating, and we all went to the movies, and we sat next to each other, and we were too scared to hold hands, so we held pinkies, like just like this, for like 2 hours and didn't look at each other or talk.
Okay, I have 2. I've had the biggest crush on Liam Poor since 5th grade, and it's never left. And then all of high school, I've also definitely had a crush on Emmett Moore, which is weird because I like Friends, but it's the curly hair. It's so cute.
Okay. Well, I mean, for me, I can just definitely say that I dated the wrong beaner.
My elementary school crush was Spencer Baker.
Oh my God,
Like a
elementary
fifth grade
school.
thing?
I was like obsessed. Like, I thought I was actually in love with Trayvon Jidlinski. Like, obsessed. I still have the Valentine gram that he gave me.
Probably you, Jake.
Yeah, you're my senior crush, Luke. I don't know. Probably Halsey Keltner.
I don't want to single like one girl out. Because I've had multiple.
Dwayne, yeah. Definitely Dwayne. I'm actually in love with Jake Shue. Sorry, Allie.
Daenerys Targaryen. Does that count? Amelia Clark. God, I love her.
Who's that?
Game of Thrones. God, you guys suck.
Sorry.
Definitely
Is that
not
the
Emily.
blonde-haired one?
Yeah, Mother of
Okay.
Dragons.
Connor Powell. Connor Powell, all the way.
Mine's Gabby Rongren.
I told this story before on my Instagram, but for those that don't know, I was in yearbook this year, and the entire reason that I joined yearbook, or that I even signed up last year, was because I had this really big crush on Kaylee Davis, and I thought that if I joined, it'd make me look cool.
It didn't.
No, it didn't. It didn't at all. I'm still a loser.
Yeah. My senior crush is John Harrison. He's just so cute.
Oh my god, that's you! Dude, that's you! Dude, it's you! You're right, it's senior crush!
The gold bar tingle. I nurture my skin. Foot powder spray.
So my favorite old trend is probably like squishies or silly bands from like elementary school. Everybody had them. We all traded them. It was just a good time.
We'd like be like, you got one? I got that. Switch them. Yeah.
So you've got trend, freshman cringe, person you wish you knew. That's very cool. Okay, let's start off with an easy one. Favorite old trend. What do you miss?
Fidget spinners.
Yeah.
Fidget spinners.
Fidget spinners for sure. And dabbing. That was my favorite.
I kind of miss Harambe memes. Like, if Harambe's death could happen like every month, so that this meme would never go stale, that would be perfect universe.
Good. What do you think?
You guys can't put me on the spot like this. I
Well,
can't just
you're
pick a
in the
single
middle. You go next.
Okay, my favorite, probably by the time people see this, it'll be stale, but the me and the boys memes. You know, have you guys seen like me and the boys in creative mode, and it's just like these black ghosts floating everywhere?
So for me, it was either, for like the really old one, the first thing that comes to mind is Ugandan Knuckles.
Favorite old stale meme? I'd probably say I'd have to go with the Doge.
So for my old, like, cringy old meme, I'd probably do the no you thing because it's like kind of, it's kind of old, but it is my catchphrase, but it's just so brilliant. Like, it's just like, who needs a good valid argument when you can just throw no you at someone? No, you.
I like your mom jokes. I also say those all the time still.
Okay, mine was the Wiggles. I really liked, God, I had a huge crush on Greg. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but that's the yellow one. I loved him so much, and the only memory I have from my obsession over the Wiggles was me being convinced that if I talked into my VCR, they could hear me. So I would frequently open the little hatch thing that you put your VCR record, like cassette in, and I'd lift it up and I'd talk into it and be like, I love you, Greg. I love you so much.
A song that associates with both of our childhoods, I guess we could say, is Drunk in Love by Beyonce. When that album came out, I remember you in school like bumping that, or like when we'd walk down to Starbucks, remember?
Oh, before practices.
Yeah, before basketball practice or soccer, we'd walk down to Starbucks. But Gabby would be bumping that Beyonce album when it first came out. And we'd always listen to Drunk in Love. Even now, like when we turn it on in the car, it might be calling Jonker now, but he's always like, like, we be
That's his favorite too.
Definitely Worry by Jeff Rosenstock.
Fruit Salad by the Wiggles.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
my song. You sing it? Fruit salad, yummy, yummy. Fruit salad, yummy, yummy.
You can't whip a bowl.
Fruit salad.
I remember in like elementary school we had that one music teacher and it was like the Neon
Mr.
Tree
Jones.
song that he made us sing.
Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones is amazing.
Neon
It's the
trees.
best.
We had like this song, me and Jade King, like really got into one of this Neon Trees song. I can't remember which one. But then he got the entire class to sing it for one of our like concerts. It was great. I don't remember the song's name, but it was my favorite.
You know, this isn't a very popular band, because they're the definition of early 2000s, but Everclear, I want to say that that's what their name is. Their album, Songs from an American Movie Part 1, oh god, dude. That album was my childhood. That was such a great album. Oh, dude, that Scooby-Doo theme, man, that reminds me of my childhood so much.
You got Scooby's next. Can't you do a really good Shaggy impression of that?
Oh, I'm so excited!
And his name was John Cena.
Eighth grade, we're all doing these presentations.
Sixth grade.
Okay, I keep saying it. So her presentation is how to do a cartwheel. And this is right after I did my presentation, was how to take care of your tortoise. So my tortoise's cage is sitting at the end of the room on top of like a cart. And she does her cartwheel and she kicks the tortoise's cage right over. I don't have a tortoise anymore.
It would have been a good cartwheel.
It would have been a good cartwheel, but my tortoise was in the way.
This day, I don't know who it was. If you remember this, I'm sorry. But the kid that I was sitting next to said something mean about them or something, and then he stood up, and I pulled out his chair, and then he went to go sit back down. Instead of like just falling, you know, like on his butt, he fell and got scared and went backwards and hit his head like on the metal of the chair, and I got moved.
We used to play Minecraft. We got like the whole class to play it. We just played on the server, and it was like a lot of time. I think we used to use Skype for communication. It was just really terrible having like 12 people in a Skype call. But it was a lot of fun. A lot of those people I don't really talk to anymore. It's kind of my biggest regret, guys. Sorry. I'm sorry I don't have the Minecraft server up anymore.
6th grade. It was kind of an icy day out. It was in the winter. And I saw some kids playing wall ball. And I don't know if he ever knew that I saw him do this, but Liam Poor like walked over to grab the ball, and he just did like the most cartoonish like flip on the ice I've ever seen. Like his feet like went up in the air and he fell on his back. And I wanted to feel bad and like tell somebody, but I didn't. I just laughed.
I one time in 6th grade witnessed a kid crap himself.
I'm probably not the best to tell this because I don't have a lot of fond memories of elementary school. But you know, like Island View was a big kickball school, especially when this class got into the higher grades. And it would pretty much be like half the class out on the field. And one day, like I think somebody won, like, you know, it was the end of the game, and they just like link arms and just like, we are the champions, my friends, dun, 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 dun. Like straight up, just all the instrumentals, just loud as hell, and we went all the way across the field.
Oh, middle school. Okay, so there was a time in like the 7th grade I was wearing sweatpants to school, and I wasn't wearing like spandex under, and Taryn Graham and Caitlin Bertolina came up behind me and pants me in front of like the middle of the hallway and like the breaks, you know, in between like periods and stuff.
Middle school, when there'd be a very unfortunate substitute in the room, I would take the projector remote and I would freeze the screen, and then they'd be like, oh golly, the projector isn't working right now, we'll have to get tech down here. And then I would just like, you know, constantly turn it off and on, and just like zoom in and out, and just, you know, use all the settings that I could. And then eventually they would just come to the consensus that, oh, the bulb is burnt out, we need to replace it. So for like, like 2/3 of class, we're just trying to work with the projector.
Every Friday in Miss Storshine's class, we'd have Disco Friday, and she turned on some cringy YouTube videos like, what does the fox say? You know what? Class
That is a classic.
And then we do
Don't
our
disrespect the box.
Our middle
all
school
right?
dances. Do the Harlem Shake.
And if you dance, you get candy.
Yeah.
As a reward for making everyone suffer by watching
Well,
you.
particularly Smarties.
Yeah. And Cabri, in
Well,
particular.
I didn't want to eat Smarties in class,
Like
so
a
I'd save them
normal
for
person.
later, and then we'd get to the lunchroom and I'd be like, you know, these Smarties look pretty good, but would be even better
What would be better?
if I kept it unwrapped and then I just took my water bottle or whatever was around, and then I just crunched them up, and then I opened it, and Isa and I would just snort them
That's
instead of
false.
eating them.
I never snorted them.
You snorted
No,
Smarties.
I did not.
Smarties.
Yes,
No,
she did. I did not.
Take me back, take me back.
I walk into the rain and feel emotional pain. It's drippity droppity on your housity toppity. It's a giant tsunami on your town. All the rain is making me frown. It feels like a wet, heavy crown.
I was going to PE from the old mat room to the gym, and I was racing Isa or something, and I ran into a door and I had a huge gash in my arm. I still have a scar from it. We were all standing in a circle with Miss Seacott, and I remember looking down and seeing like just white, like there was no blood, it was just like a really like white gash. And then I closed my eyes and woke up 15 feet behind where I was standing because I had passed out, but I tried to catch myself, so I was backpedaling, I guess, for 15 feet. And then Bearball had to wheelchair me.
I strained my MCL freshman year, and I asked Abby Flint, like on crutches, to homecoming. Sophomore year, I tore my meniscus, and then I was on crutches for a little bit, and I had surgery for that. And then junior year was pretty good this year. And then this year, I had a sprained ankle during soccer season. It took me out 4 weeks.
And I was playing Overwatch, and then I was like dancing around because someone had chose Junkrat instead of me, and I was kind of mad, and I don't know. But then I literally just sit down, my knee pops out of its socket. I just sat down in the recliner, and my knee goes boop. And so here's where your knee's supposed to be. My knee was right there, and
I had to get hospitalized overnight because my mom thought that she could teach me how to ski, and she was wrong. And I fell, and my ski fell on my leg, and then both her skis fell on my leg, and then she like looked at it, she's like, "Oh, she broke it."
Yeah, like, I've never gotten in trouble.
Oh, look at you.
I'm perfect.
Ooh. So in kindergarten, it was like the first day of school. I was so happy, all perky and happy. I got in trouble. I don't even remember what happened, but like recess had just happened when I got in trouble. I was dragged, kicking and screaming to the first grade class because they made you go to the next grade above you in my old elementary school, and you had to like write down a reflection. I was crying and screaming.
We tied, who was it? We tied someone to a tether pole with a jump rope. Nicole. No, Nicole was with it because it was somebody I had a crush on. And like, remember we went to the principal's office and you guys were like, it was her fault, she had a crush on him.
I remember I got a treat for telling.
You got detention for like being late to class.
Yeah, never went though.
You know, I'm never caught.
It wasn't even my fault. I was walking down the hallway and someone, I won't name names, someone pantsed me in front of Miss Gallo's room, and Miss Gallo came out just yelling, but it was all targeted towards me, and she's like, that could be sexual harassment, Ananda. But I was the one that like had my pants around my ankles, and I ended up getting suspended for like 2 weeks.
Okay, so I used to live in Oak Harbor, and I used to have to make like a 45-minute descent to and from school every day. And so I would always be late because we had to be there at 7:30 and I would have to wake up at 5, right? And so what I ended up doing is because I was so tired of having my mom sign papers, I would write my own letters in order to go into the attendance office and just go to class and have an excused absence. And then one day my mom called and they told her like, you've been writing all these letters, like can't you just like excuse her? And they thought it was her the entire time. And then my mom said, I didn't write any notes. And then I got two detentions that I never went to, so.
Was this
6th grade. It must have been 6th.
No, I think it was 5th.
5th or 6th grade, Miss Focky Schultz's class. Ben and Roz Cohen, we all used to be really good friends, and they figured out the password for the administrative account on the computers in the computer lab.
At Island View.
At Island View.
Right.
And so we could essentially, like what would happen is if you typed in a website that was blocked, it would come up with the block screen, and then it would come up with a username and password thing. And the username was ISV, and the password was ASD. It was literally that easy. And they figured it out. And so we had full administrative control for what must have been almost a month. And we would just mess around with it, and we'd like go on YouTube, and we'd go onto all the sites that they wouldn't let us go on. And it was going pretty well. It was going pretty well for a long time, and we eventually got ratted out by somebody. And I won't say their name here, but they knew who they are. It was but we're not going to put that in. So we got ratted out, and so Mr. Harrington called us all in, and he got a record of all of the websites that our computers and our accounts had been to with these administrative controls, and somehow one of my sites was flagged under adult video content, and this site was a site that Emmett made on Mediafire.com. It was called AwesomeCattle.com, and it was literally just pictures of cows. I don't know why he made it. I can't explain what the reasoning was. I think he just thought it was funny, but he was like, you should totally go to Awesome Cattle. And so I logged in with the administrative controls, and I went to Awesome Cattle, and apparently it is considered porn by the school censor program. So, you know, I got in pretty big trouble for that, and I'm glad it happened.
8th grade, Mr. Tyler.
True.
I was in the hall, I kid you not, I
Every
wish
day.
I was joking, 3 times a week. He would just send me out in the hall. It was over stupid stuff. I don't even remember half of it. But I know, if you talk to him right now, he'd be like, I don't even know who you are because you were gone somewhere.
True. It was to the point where I'd pass by in the hallway and like it was normal to be like, hey Jordan, because she'd be sitting out in the hall almost every day.
So one time, I was horsing around in Mr. Dixon's class. This was actually this year, and I was pushing my friend Malachi around, and the whiteboards were made out of glass. I don't know who made that decision, but they should probably be fired. So the whiteboards were made out of glass, and I pushed Malachi into the glass whiteboard, and then it broke, like shattered, like came like on top of other, like shattered on top of other people, and no one was hurt somehow. I don't know how. It was like a miracle. And so the glass whiteboard was broken. Mr. Dickinson was like, it's not good. It's not good.
Alyssa, you're a criminal. Alyssa, how does it feel?
You wake up in the morning and you run to school. It's the coolest thing that you could do. Get to class early, you sit right down, and you open your laptop to look around.
I gotta give a shout out to my boy McCartney.
Mr. McCartney.
I love writing, and it's my favorite, and he had to deal with 7th period. He knows what I'm talking about. It's the worst. And, you know, he had to deal with us, and I could see all the anger just bubbling up inside. He's just so adorable. Yeah.
A good person, sweet guy, very nice, very supportive. The opposite of you, the Lutri.
I feel like McCartney goes out of his way to be like a really good teacher.
I only had him for 1 semester, but he's just like the coolest.
He's very outdoorsy. I admire that. I wish I was outdoorsy.
Mr. Burnett.
Definitely Mr. Burnett.
Yeah, Mr. Burnett.
Also Mr. Burnett.
Because, like, ever since we just, like, walked into his class sophomore year, I felt very, very included. And, I don't know, he just helped me with, I'm not gonna cry. He helped me. I have to present after this.
He's a very humble person, and I feel like he's helped me throughout high school. Definitely gained my confidence. He's a very kind person, I think.
Yeah, he's honestly just like inspired me to become who I am today and just respect other people people and their opinions and just be more confident in myself as well.
I definitely recommend taking his classes if you haven't.
Yeah, religions is really great.
You know, he's a goof and gaff guy, you know. I'm also a goof and gaff guy, but I just want him to know that I'm sorry for not going into drama 2 or drama 3 or drama club.
Nichols?
Mr. Nichols.
Mr. Nichols.
Nichols, I feel like he doesn't try as hard to be hilarious, or maybe isn't like trying at all.
Naturally.
Yes, everything he says is so funny sometimes.
And I would just like to sincerely apologize for copying down the homework word for word. I'm so sorry.
I'm not like the greatest in math, but he just made everything so easy for pre-calc. He straight up did a 360 in class.
Yeah, first day of school.
Yeah.
Just like
Thompson.
Mr. Thompson.
I love you, Tommy.
She's just helped me so much with my high school experience. Also, like literally changed my career path. I was not.
Mr. Dickinson, you are.
Oh my gosh, yes, Dickinson.
Yes.
Dickinson is the best.
He's. Oh my God! No! Private soldier.
He's
Private only.
private.
So I guess Mr. Andrich, I'd say would be my favorite.
My favorite teacher is Mr. Andrich.
Because every time I kind of just walk past his classroom, just like, hey guys, what's going on? And he's just like just so spunky
And he barges into other people's classes.
Yeah, he doesn't even care. He does what he wants, and he'll play the dopest music.
When he first came here, he did civics, and that was actually one of my favorite classes that I took because it helped me realize that I wanted to become a lawyer.
Every day, Gabby and I go into his classroom and put a fact, and
We are those people.
This is John, the librarian. I love her. And last year I was new to the school and she just made me feel super welcome and she would always give me book recommendations. And I'm her TA now and it's so fun. So I love third period and she's the best.
I have two. My favorite teacher is Mr. Garcia because he's just the best. And I've had him almost every year and he's just so awesome and such a nice guy and he's so positive and so sweet. And then Miss Fankhauser was my counselor all of my years of high school, and I don't know how I would make it this far if it wasn't for Miss Fankhauser.
Mr. Buckland and Mr. Nichols. And they're polar opposites. And they're complete opposites.
Backman is just always going to be a man on the back of my head.
Oh.
And Ken Welk.
Yeah.
Ken Welk and Brian Backman.
I play basketball, so I can't talk about Mr. Wong.
Miss Poland's kind of like my idol. Like she's so cool. And it's like every time I go and talk to her, she's just like, yeah, da-da-da-da-da. Shows up, she's like knitting with her kids and all this cool stuff. Like she's like a superhero, but as a real lady, yeah, she's such a badass.
Terribly bad at math, and I always find an excuse to leave Hogarth's class. But I started to be there every single day, and because he was just so funny, it was stale funny. It wasn't funny as in he had good jokes. He had those dad jokes, and I would just laugh at them. I remember walking into his classroom at the old high school. It was freezing in that class that day, and I was like, oh, it's so cold in here. I need to get my jacket or something because it's so cold. And he walks up to me and he was in his monotone deep voice. It was really low and really quiet. He was like, yo, just my heart. And
One day we walked in and apparently there's a glue stick missing, and this is my favorite joke he's ever made. And he looks at us and he goes, so there's a glue stick missing. Someone must have had sticky fingers.
Every time I go ask him questions, he said, no, I say hi, and then he's like, hello.
Favorite teacher? Carol Leander. She's helped me through a lot of the crap during school. Always been there.
My favorite was Senior Hollingsted. Now, it's still Senior Hollingsted.
Nice.
But I like them all. I like all the teachers.
Garcia's the best.
Oh yeah.
I would have wished that back at the end of freshman year, I thanked Mr. Simonson the last time I saw him. I was just kind of a freshman guy. I didn't think to thank him before leaving for summer break, but I wish I did. His enthusiasm towards me was outstanding. It's great.
behind. Cause her friends don't dance and if
Connor Powell. You would not think that Connor's like super nice. He's surprisingly like perky. I ran into him in Walgreens like during Halloween. He's like, oh hey Will. I was just like, oh my, what is this niceness?
Chase Cornett, by far. Chase Cornett. He's my favorite junior. Chase Cornett.
Chase Cornett, but he is not a senior in my head. He's a freshman.
Savannah. All she has to do, like, she can move her arms and it'll just make me laugh. Like, her persona is just. Jordan Hutchison, and Andy Hardison, Riley Ward, and Tegan Pease. Those are the most similar human beings that all have the same persona and like sense of humor that it just like manifests within each one of them, and then that manifestation is better than the last. So much comedy in one group, it's dangerous.
No mask.
Josh Ocampo.
Josh Ocampo.
No mask.
Yeah!
No mask.
It always seems like everybody knows me, but I don't know them. They'll be like, hey Al, it's like I've never seen you in my life. How?
Somebody who I wish I was more friends with through all of high school would probably be Hannah Gleason, just because I always see like the fun things that she goes and does, and she always like.
And her outfits are always so.
I know.
Yeah, they're really cute.
And she's just like such a fun person. And when I played volleyball with her, it's like she was always like a person that I felt like I just like wanted to be like best friends with.
I feel like she's always really nice and like always tries to get people involved.
Yeah.
Maddie Herring. I've always wanted to like talk to her, but I don't know, she's really funny. Like her like Instagram posts are hilarious and like everything about her is just funny. I don't know, she's just really funny. I like being around funny people, hence this
Me.
Hey.
Jordan makes up for my
Jordan's
Jordan's
the funniest one in our friend group.
Jordan's the one that I want to be more friends with.
Will McCracken.
Yeah. His videos are pretty dope.
Maxim Bondar, for sure. He's always been kind of like international man of mystery. Like I've always wanted to get to know him, but just never did.
You know, I gotta say, yeah, I know a lot of people, but I wish that I got to know the people that I was friends with in middle school and elementary school that kind of just drifted away. That, you know, we say hi, what's up in the hall or in class sometimes, but you know, like, I miss our times. Dean Overman
Oh,
specifically.
boy.
I had you in 10th English with masters. Dude, you're freaking amazing, and I just never bothered to talk to you for some reason. I'm sorry, dude. You're the best.
Halsey
Would
Kellner.
like to know.
Halsey Kellner.
Oh my God. We all want to trade.
We all want to be
We all want to be
Halsey.
Halsey. Yes. Andrew.
I'll be Halsey.
We all want to be
Yeah.
Halsey.
I think a lot of people at this school are pretty iconic. I would probably say maybe like Jade or Allie. We talked about them in our like senior culinary presentations, just because I want to be like more involved with like being like an activist or like being more involved with like the environment. I do a lot of other like service-based clubs and like community things, but I would like to do more of like helping out the earth, you know?
I would trade lives with Angie because, you know, she just seems so put together. And, like, she's a 4.0 student. Like, I want that GPA, but, like, she's put together and, like, she's who I want to be.
Angie's a goddess.
If I was gonna trade labs with a student, it would probably be Alyssa, just because she's so responsible and just has so much to take on, and I just would like, I don't even know what it's like to be in your shoes because you do so much and you just like keep it together so well, and I just, you know, I would like to know what that's like because it seems like a lot and I just don't understand how you can juggle it all.
She is literally the sweetest person that I've ever met in my whole life. You're like the embodiment of sunshine, but not like harsh sunshine, because sunshine can be really annoying sometimes. You're like nice, mellow, like the first spring after winter, just golden. Or like when the sun finally comes out after like an overcast day, you know, and it's like finally and it's warm. like shining through the clouds and you can see all the rays.
Actually, I want to change mine to Alyssa as well.
Oh
We
my
love
goodness.
Alyssa.
She's just such a hard worker and so sweet all the time. Even when she's stressed out, she still like finds a way to
I really, really wish I had gotten to know Savannah Gilcrease Wolf. I think she's the most badass person ever, and I really wish that I could have gotten to know her and been involved in the activities that she's in, and I don't know, our lives just didn't cross enough, so it never happened. But
yeah, I definitely second that one. I've watched her from afar. She's gorgeous, and yeah, I wish I knew her.
Did you stand there all alone? Oh, I cannot explain what's going down. I can see you standing next to me, in and out, somewhere else right now. You sigh, look away. I can see it clear as day. Close your eyes, so afraid. Hide behind that baby face. Do, 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 do. You can drive all night looking for
I feel like how close everyone is. Like, I feel like everyone's really close. And no matter what the differences are, I feel like we all come together in the end.
Yeah. I'm gonna miss, like, how cool the teachers are.
Oh,
Like, you just walk through the hallway and it's like Mr. Andrich is in the hallway, you're like, oh, what's up? You know,
Yeah.
that's just always nice. And Hancock
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Mr. McCartney.
Yeah.
That's
Miss Birkland.
Oh, Miss
Miss
Birkland.
Birkland. Favorite teacher. Yep.
What am I gonna miss most about going to AHS? The social aspect about it, and some of the teachers are amazing. Mr. Anderson, love you, B. Miss Birkland, she's great. So the teachers, they're definitely unique and something that I'll miss for sure.
Your friends all in one spot, like the chances of us ever like eating lunch together again after this year are gonna be very minimal unless we put a lot of effort into it, and none of us put effort into anything. We'll miss the teachers here, like Mr. Boyce, Mr. Furren. Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna run into another teacher like either of them really. They both really helped me like figure out what I was doing and where I was going. And
all the teachers were absolutely amazing. With Anderson, Burnett, like a lot of my memories are from them just making me laugh so hard.
Thing that I'll miss the most about being here is definitely Corey McCartney. Love that guy. Awesome. Always going to his class. Was a blast. Bars.
I'm gonna miss like seeing everyone that like I'm not like really close to. Like, you know what I mean?
Me too, and definitely Scott Dixon. I'm gonna miss that guy a lot.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna miss seeing my boys every day and seeing Mr. D and Mr. McCartney and all the other cool teachers around here. Definitely not Mr. Hancock. You know, yeah.
I'm gonna miss seeing just all the teachers that made my day every day and all the students that love to say hi.
I'll definitely miss seeing like all my friends and stuff, but I'm also ready just to start another life somewhere else.
Probably the people, like meeting like new people every day or close to every day. I've gotten to meet a lot of people recently. So, yeah. What about you?
I just think that his waste is meeting much of people, and we create a lot of everlasting memories that will keep with us forever, and have a lot of friends.
One of my favorite memories from the old high school was after school, like multiple days. I know that Thomas Dillon was doing a skit in drama, and he had this tiny red like tricycle. It was like a toddler tricycle.
Yeah, it was tiny.
That he'd bring for the drama production, and he just like left it in the choir room. And so like for several weeks after school, we'd go down to the choir room for whatever reason, and Leander would be riding the tiny red tricycle down the ramps. Like
She would go up to the top and then speed race down in all the turns. That was
I think you're not supposed
We
to
do-
skate in the hallways, but don't tell anyone.
We do laps around the donut up top.
My favorite part of the new school is probably, well, one of my favorite parts is just like the community I think it creates, like having the the common space. I feel like everyone, I just see people more often, and it's fun to see people and say hi to them, whereas like in the old school it was super weird and the layout was weird and I never saw people. So here I just, like I see you a ton and I always say hi and it's fun. And I love how all the teachers are like close to each other, like departments, and it's always funny because like Mr. Hancock and like Mr. Andrich and Miss Poland, like they'll like kind of like roast each other throughout the day, and it's just super entertaining.
Falling off the box during the lip sync.
That was so bad.
I'll never forget
My
that.
like heart stopped. I was like, is that part of the show?
Yes.
I was like, that's not part of the show. Why aren't they stopping?
That was my favorite part of just the entire lip sync.
Really?
It was empowering for me. Just fall, and then to feel time slow down, and then to realize that I can't stand up anymore, but I'm still trying to jam out. Honestly, I would do it again.
I love Ante to death, man, and we were fake wrestling, and then someone got my attention, so I took my hands off of him, and he was just still going hard, and he gets me right here about the knees, and then just flips me onto my back and like just levels me, and like he recorded the whole thing.
I have video.
What?
Oh!
Bro! Yeah, it hurt, dude. I laid down like it hurt. I had the wind knocked out of me for a second there.
So the childhood memories. So one time we were at recess. There's a lunch recess.
Easy there, buddy.
Lunch recess. We get in after that, and we're at lunch, and it's a nice day, so we're outside. Ryan's a little thirsty. Takes his Capri Sun, he sticks the straw in there.
Jeez, I was thirsty.
My favorite part, the bathrooms. You know, you walk into the CTE wing, you know, back in the old school. I haven't been here for a while, so this is honestly all I can really comment on. So I'm a big bathroom connoisseur myself. But back in the old school, you go to the CTE wing and there'd just be like, no doors, there'd be graffiti on the walls, you'd be scared to do absolutely anything, you know, anything private. The bathrooms at the new high school, let's say, are much nicer. They're a safe space for me. It's somewhere where I can go to appreciate life and not feel like I'm going to be attacked, whether emotionally or physically, by another human being in the same bathroom.
My favorite memory is 6th grade. I just started going to school with them. We had a contest to see how long I could get my iPhone to record the entire day without me getting in trouble. Me and Mason were sitting next to each other and Jerry's across from us. Mason starts leaning back in his chair like goofing off, flips back into the trash can behind us that was supposed to be full of basketballs, but he just bonked his head.
So for me, my favorite memory was probably telling all our jokes in ceramics in the sophomore year. Yeah. We ended up laughing so hard, everyone else went really silent.
Okay, so there was a time where Mason and I were going out to lunch in Jaden Bates, and so the story's great. So he was gonna go have lunch with us, and so he wanted to actually go have lunch with his girlfriend Kaylin, and so we're like, whatever, get out of the car, man. And so he like gets out, and as we drive away, we give him the finger, and right at that moment, Wallace looks over, and he just like looks at us, and so we just like, skirt, you know, we just drive away.
Out of there. I think mine was just getting to know the staff a lot more than just teachers and faculty.
So when you have your wisdom teeth out, if you guys know, you have to take medications. And so I put those medications in my lunchbox. And so I went to go talk to a teacher, and none of my friends grabbed my lunchbox to bring it to me, so they just left it on the table. So when I came back, it was gone. And then so I was like, okay, I'm gonna be late to class, so I'll just come back later and look for it. And then I get a note to go to the office, and so I was like, okay, maybe they have something for me. I'm like, maybe it's a package, because I'm a good student, so I never really get in trouble. And little did I know, they found the narcotics I had in my lunchbox. And so I had to call my parents.
Okay, so the last day of school, we were at the old school, we were helping Thompson clean his room out. So he basically had all these really big boxes, and he needed to take a bunch of stuff to the dump because he just had a lot of old stuff that he didn't need.
Yeah, so we got a cart. Connor Powell was pulling it. So we got this cart and we loaded it up with boxes. And then basically, some of us got tired. I guess Gabby decided to sit on the boxes. And then, so Connor was pulling Gabby along, who was sitting on the boxes on the cart. And then I decided, hey, we can make like a cart out of this or something. So we just all got on the cart, and then Connor started pulling me and Gabby and the boxes around, and then we basically just ended up making this caravan. It got pretty big at one point. We had like 5 people, I think, like John Harrison, me, Gabby, Will, Connor, and then Jacob Hoxie comes along at the end, and he's got this ukulele and he's playing tunes, and we're going up and down the hallways. We're kind of just messing around, singing songs, and it was good times on the caravan train.
Yes, sir. We got garbage. We got garbage for press.
Yes. Yes. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So last year, over the course of like maybe 11 months, I think, I would get these texts like very infrequently. Sometimes it'd be like once a month, sometimes it'd be like 3 times a month, and every single time it was this unknown number, and every single time they would say the same things. They just type out "I like beans," and you just ignored them the first few times, but then I was like, this can't just be a coincidence that I'm getting the same text like every month or so. And so then I kind of started replying to them and tried to get them to like talk to me, but then they'd only ever respond with "I like beans." And then it finally came out, and Connor confessed to me that it was him through like this number. I don't know how he had a different number, but he said that somehow like he lost it, so he can't use the number anymore, and that's why he told me. Just called him Bean Boy because I didn't know who it was, and so but Connor is Bean Boy, I guess.
I remember just skipping lunch. Like I wouldn't eat at lunch. This was before I had a car because you know all the cool kids drive to go get lunch. I would go down to Dickinson's old class. I would try and like find a way around Baraball and Fox so I could get down to Dixon's and play speedball during lunch. That was always super fun.
I was in medals in sophomore year, and we didn't stop working during the Pledge of Allegiance, and so Mr. Boyce called my entire class pot-smoking terrorists. And so, Mr. Boyce, still love you. Favorite memory of you?
One time, I was in Miss Stout's class, and I was being a little bit of a Vimy boy, you could say. And I went to recycle my paper, and she said, "It's not time to do that right now." And I said, "I'm already over here, I'm gonna recycle the paper." And she said, "Well, it's not time for that right now." And I said, "Okay," and I recycled my paper, and then she sent me to the office where I sat in detention, and they asked me what I did wrong, and I said, "I recycled a piece of paper."
Of course they didn't believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, it's gotta be something more than that, you're not telling us.
So yeah, thank you for that, Miss Stout. I appreciate it.
We are the class of 2019. We are artists, activists, leaders, writers, mathematicians, and friends. We come from all over, from different elementary schools, different cities, and even different countries. We all have different stories, with various passions and goals. Despite all this, we have one shared experience: high school. From walking into the wrong classroom on the first day of freshman year to lip-syncing our alma mater, cheering at football games to storming the court after winning Tiger Hawk, painting the CTE wing junior year and spending hours upon hours studying for finals, singing along at Rock the Island to watching the sunrise at Capsani, ad-libbing speeches and playing Mario Kart, dressing up in togas to being betrayed in Senior Assassins, blindfolding our friends in Human Anatomy and making Starbucks friends during lunch. We are the first graduating class from the new school, the bridge between the old and the new. We experienced the flooding in the hallways in the past building and broke in the less than soundproof bathrooms in the present one. Our peers organized walkouts for issues they believed in and put on blood drives to help our community. These are just a few of the memories we share from our 4 years in high school. Who we were when we started high school is different than who we are now. As we set our sails in the direction of our next journey, our experiences provide the strong vessel which will carry us into uncharted waters. We will see new things, meet new people, and bring change to our world. Anacortes will always be a safe harbor and port to come home to. We are Anacortes. We are the class of 2019.
It's us against the world. Like a river to a raindrop, I lost a friend. My drunken as a Daniel in a lion's den. And tonight I know it all has to begin.
Like at the wheel, like like doing facial expressions. Like I'm not even kidding. Surfboard, surfboard.
What are we doing here? I don't know.
I can't believe you almost said no. That was funny.
I definitely didn't. I just don't know.
John, pose for the camera.
Garrett,
We're still recording.
Ryan,
Pose for the camera.
and
Pose for the camera. We're still recording. Ooh.
Live from Anacortes. This is the senior video. Whoa! What if I'd be embarrassed if they